So I know it seems like we're kind of getting off track from the active aero portion of the project. This is something that I'm doing to try to make sure that I'm ready to do the carbon for the wing, because I want that to turn out really, really well whenever I do that. So I'm taking my time to learn, you know, this aspect of the project while I'm looking at some other details on how I'm going to build the structure and the mechanical part of the wing. There's several trade-offs that I'm looking at right now. Originally, I wanted to actuate each side independently. I decided for a car under 300 horsepower, that's not really necessary. And then I started looking at whether or not actuating the wing in small increments is necessary, or whether we're just going to want max downforce or minimum drag. And then that would just be a binary up-down type of thing, which would be easier to do for controls and to build. That opens up, you know, pneumatic control, several other solutions, but I don't want this to devolve into a project that just, you know, a bunch of people have done before. So I'm trying to balance that out and decide what is the best way to go. Another thing I'm taking into consideration is how to build it if I want to expand the functionality later. So that's also another thing I'm considering. Just a lot of moving parts to think about. I did get a 3D scanner, which will help me in this project as well as some other projects that I'd like to do for the 86 as well. So be sure to get subscribed if you want to see some other stuff and other parts development. I will be working on other projects as well. This one is probably taking up the most of my time, but there are some other projects I'm working on, like redoing the paddle shifters. Since I've been spending money on this one, I don't really want to spend too much money on other projects, and I've kind of put a lot of other things on hold as well to make sure I'm not blowing my project budget on a bunch of different projects. But anyway, just wanted to give you an update on the project as a whole, and make sure you didn't think that I was just, you know, forgetting about the whole active part of the active aero project. This is just for learning purposes for me, while I also think about some other aspects of the project that I haven't figured out yet. So I just wanted to keep busy with it and you know, learn as much as I can while I'm kind of in a holding pattern, not really a holding pattern, but while I'm trying to still figure out some other things. So anyway, let's get back to the Canards. This is the next day. No, it's the same day as when I unwrapped the other one, but I've got another mold here, this time with a key to position it, and then the lips so I can put tape down on the working surface so it doesn't move. So that slides in, locates it there. I'm a little concerned about that gap. I mean, if anything, resin will just fall down in there and I can sand it off. So these corners were extremely difficult to get Fusion 360 to chamfer, since this surface is a mesh. Geometrically, there wasn't an issue, but Fusion did not want to chamfer that surface because of this mesh. I'll try to cut in a clip here to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the edge I'm talking about right here. For some reason, Fusion does not want me to fillet that. I'm guessing the reason it doesn't want to do it is because if it goes across this whole edge here, there are small triangles that will get deleted. That is what I'm guessing the issue is. And I tried to make a shape perpendicular to the edge right here that was kind of curved, and then loft cut along that line. But since that's not a solid edge, it didn't want to do that either. So if any of you have any suggestions on how to put a fillet on this edge right here, that would be wonderful, and I would appreciate it greatly. I haven't done a lot of research yet. I just ran into that issue yesterday, so there might be a simple solution. I couldn't find it on a quick search, but I just got back from the gym, ate a big bowl of Chipotle, pretty wiped out. So what I'm going to try to do is just get the mold ready, get the working surface ready, maybe cut out the shapes of the carbon and fiberglass and the breather cloth and the peel ply. Get this waxed up. I guess at that point that's like 80% of the work. Maybe I will just do it tonight. I don't know. I'll do what I can, see how far I get, and pick the rest up in the morning. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this. So yeah, while I'm holding this on the edges, I extended it out about 10 millimeters, and I put a fillet so it's not as sharp of a cutoff. Like I said, I couldn't do that with this one. I'm not sure why. And then I did a similar thing here where it just kind of bevels off. It makes it kind of obvious where I need to cut, but the angle isn't sharp or anything. So that should allow it to adhere a bit better. Yeah, I'll make sure to get release wax packed into this crack. It doesn't feel as big as it looks. This actually fit in better than I was expecting. I didn't have to do any sanding on that. I did just so the glue would adhere better. Hey Milwaukee, sponsorship would be great. I could use some more batteries. So I thought I pushed record, but I didn't. Basically, all I did was bring this up here, put this in the middle, and tape it down. I've got the fabrics cut in advance. So one thing I like to do is put painter's tape on the edges here. It makes the cut a lot cleaner and it doesn't fray, but it makes the edges much more rigid, so it doesn't drape as easily. I'm going to try to remove these when I put it on with the resin. Hopefully I can do that without it fraying too much, but we'll see. I do have some extra room, so if it frays a bit, it's not that big of a deal. But now I need to apply the mold release. This really is a great starter kit. I mean, they include like gloves and popsicle sticks and brushes, like not just the materials, but like all the equipment and stuff. Highly recommend it. Very, very good starter kit. Shout out to Rockwest Composites. Not sponsored. I think the mold design will make it a lot easier to get a good result. We'll let that sit and get back to it in the morning. Okay, so just put several more coats of wax on there. Gave it about between 30 minutes and an hour between each coat. It looks like it did dry kind of hazy, even though I polished it afterwards. Not sure what's going on there, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix the epoxy. I've got the fabric over there. Oh no, I'm going to go ahead and mix the epoxy. I'm gonna set this aside, mix the epoxy, pull this back up. I bought some scissors, just some cheap shop scissors, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to clean the epoxy off of them. I didn't want to drop like 30 bucks on a really nice set. Well, let's start with for the other size, the first one, I did 100 grams of epoxy and 35 grams of filler or hardener. For this one, I'll probably do 50 because it is smaller, but I'm doing one extra ply. Probably less than half the size, but with one more ply, so 50 grams of epoxy. But yeah, let's quit talking and let's start doing. I don't think I hear any leaks. I did see a couple holes under the chromate, and I was kind of freaking out about it. I think I plugged them, but now that I'm pulling the vacuum, it looks like the pressure from the vacuum presses the chromate up against the surface, so it's kind of like self-sealing. If that's the intent, that's pretty genius. I think I hear a leak. Not anymore. I'm gonna plug that just in case though. Okay, we just finished the second layup. The vacuum hose doodad that I have cooked up right now is working way better than the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a shower and then come back and check the vacuum on this. But as long as it holds a vacuum like this for several hours, I'll be pretty happy. I mean, obviously I would like it to just hold it for the entire time that it's curing, but you know, if I need to babysit it a couple times, I can just do this in the morning until I find a better solution or a way to hold a better vacuum. But yeah, this is, I mean, it feels like it's just the surface of the board. The melamine is working great as a working surface. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. I get quick showers. Definitely looks like some air is getting in. Let's see how it... Actually, you know what? I wonder. The 3D print is enclosed. I wonder if air is getting sucked out of the 3D print through like a layer line or something, or in the back, and it's leaking into the 3D print or the mold area. I mean, it still felt like it was pretty hard, so like it wasn't a bunch of air that leaked in or anything. Like I still couldn't move it around, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I'll give it another hour or so and come back out and check on it. So let's, I'll see you then. All right, so I didn't record pulling all the stuff off of the carbon fiber piece. It was kind of boring, but I went ahead and sanded it with 320 and then 1000 grit and 2000. I think 2000 was unnecessary, and then I put a high gloss UV protectant clear coat on it, and this is what we've got. You can see some aesthetic imperfections in the surface there where there were the wrinkles in the vacuum bag. I think that's something we can avoid pretty easily on the next version, but for a second try, I think this turned out pretty good. Still kind of bumpy, like not anything that would really cause a problem, but it's not that super glossy smooth look. I'm gonna look more into how to get that. I think maybe it involves putting another coat of epoxy resin over it after it is cured the first time, so that might be one of the solutions. But yeah, I mean, fully functional. It fits on the car perfectly. It just doesn't look as good as it could. So the surface back here looks pretty nice, and that's on the outside, so that's good. Very happy. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind putting this on my car. I think it looks really good. It looks like a homemade piece. I think, but it looks like a really good homemade piece. So iteration number 2, I'd say, is a success. Right now I'm printing out the left-hand side, and then I'm going to print out a piston. So I had an idea for replacing the vacuum bag and instead using a mechanical pressure. So this is the model for the right-hand side, the one that we just did. And then we have the right-hand piston, which goes right here. It's at 50% opacity. So this piece kind of goes over the top and provides mechanical pressure by just clamping it on instead of using a vacuum bag. And I'm curious if that will work better than the vacuum bag. I would think that if it did, this would already be used. However, forged carbon fiber is made with a mold and a piston, and those pull apart. So I can't think of a reason why this wouldn't work. As long as you apply the mold release wax to both parts, it might be a little difficult to get it to separate, but once you crack it open, I can't think of a reason why this wouldn't work. So this is what I'm going to try for the left-hand side. I'm going to compare the results from the right-hand side and the left-hand side, see which one looks better, which one's easier to do, which requires less processing time. Yeah, that's about it. So that'll be the next video. Be sure to tune into that if you're interested in seeing how I end up making these canards. But anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to be kind to someone today. Peace.